Welcome to this beautiful newer luxury home in the desirable Issaquah Highlands in Issaquah, Washington. Get ready to experience gorgeous views from every level, including spectacular sights of both Seattle and Bellevue from the upper floors. Come tour this home with me. Today I've got a beautiful home tour to show you right here in the community of Issaquah Highlands in Issaquah, Washington. This is a 5-bedroom, 2.75 bath home. This luxury home is over 4,200 square feet and it has views of Seattle and Bellevue. Let's get into it. This property is proudly listed by Lynn Crane with Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. I'm excited to host this one. I've actually shown a few of my colleagues that work out of the same office a few different listings on the channel for new construction in this area or newer construction. Lynn is an awesome agent that I work with. Our team works out of the same office in Keller Williams Realty Bellevue, Washington. If you're new here, my name is Morrow and I'm a realtor here in the greater Seattle area. I've represented clients with dozens and dozens of home builders over here in the greater Seattle area many times over. Today we're taking a look in a detailed tour of a gorgeous luxury resale in the Harrison community of Issaquah Highlands. And if you know anything about this neighborhood, you already know that this is something special. Now, quick heads up before we dive in, my home tours tend to run a little longer than most. That's totally intentional. A lot of my clients are relocating from other parts of the country or even internationally. So I film these tours like I'm right there in person with them. I'll be opening cabinets, checking finishes, pointing out layout flow, the little things you can't get from just photos or a quick walkthrough. Now, before we go inside the home, let's talk about where we are. This home sits in Issaquah Highlands, specifically in the Harrison neighborhood, which is known for its elevated setting, modern homes, and sweeping views of the Puget Sound region. If you've been following my channel, you've probably seen me talk about other areas in Issaquah like downtown Issaquah, the Plateau, or even the Highlands core, but today we're going to zoom in on this particular corner of the Highlands. What makes the Highlands so unique is that it gives you that clean master plan feel with easy access to hiking trails, parks, shopping, dining, all just a few minutes from downtown Issaquah. It's urban convenience meets Pacific Northwest nature, and the Harrison community really takes that into its next level. Now, since this home was built in 2014 and it's located here in the Issaquah Highlands, there's a strong chance the HOA and CC&Rs have zoning protections in place to prevent middle housing or multifamily conversions. That's one of the benefits of a well-established community with active oversight. That said, I always like to point this out, especially for buyers who are thinking long-term. In some areas of King County, especially homes built, before the 60s, anything within that 40-year range from now, or newer homes after 2023, without an HOA or CC&Rs, new zoning laws could allow duplexes, triplexes, or even other multifamily options to pop up in historically what would be considered single-family neighborhoods. If that's something you care about, whether it's for peace of mind, long-term value, or you just want to understand what could happen around you, we definitely want to dig into the CC&Rs and HOA docs more closely. Every neighborhood is different, and this kind of thing is easy to miss unless you're looking for it. So if you're considering a home in the Highlands or anywhere in King County and you want to know what the long-term zoning outlook is, that's where I come in. Just shoot me a message and I would be happy to help you break it down on the areas you're looking at. And since we're talking about Issaquah and where it's located in the greater Seattle area, let's talk about commute times, because for a lot of buyers, especially those relocating, knowing how long it takes to get to where you need to go is just as important as the home itself. So from here in the Issaquah Highlands, downtown Bellevue is typically 20 to 30 minute drive depending on traffic, but if you're heading out during peak rush hour, especially around 8 a.m. or 5 p.m., it can stretch closer to well over 40 minutes, especially if there's backup on I-90. Now, downtown Seattle is usually a 30 to 45 minute drive, but again, in a worst case scenario like rain, construction, or an accident, it can spike to well over an hour. Redmond, where Microsoft's main campus is about 25 minutes on a typical day, but during heavy traffic on 520 is backed up, it might push closer to 35 or 45 minutes. Now, and if you're heading to Sammamish, that's usually a quick 15 to 20 minute drive, but depending on time of day, local school traffic, it could creep up to over 30 minutes, of course. And as always, don't just use Google Maps to make such an important and life-altering decision as where you will live compared to the distance to where you're going to work. If you're seriously considering this area or just any area in the greater Seattle area, I always tell my buyers to test the commute themselves during peak hours, using multiple apps like Google Maps, Waze, Apple Maps to get a feel for what their actual day-to-day might look like for commuting. And yes, this means getting into your car and taking the actual drive. Now, if you work from home, you're in luck. This house has plenty of options for a home office. And since we are talking about location, this neighborhood has such a different feel than some other parts of Issaquah. I really like this neighborhood in general. It reminds me of a buyer that I was working with who was relocating from Colorado. They'd been looking online for months, and to them everything was looking very similar. Same price, same square footage, but what they didn't realize was that there were two homes that they were looking at in particular, and these two houses were just a few blocks apart. And they were in totally two different school zones. One backed up to a busy road, and of course the photos, you couldn't hear how busy the road was in the photos, and the other had a view that just was not translating well or being shown properly online. They were about to make a decision blind. I toured both, sent over a full breakdown with video, sound checks, and even walked the neighborhood. They ended up picking the quieter cul-de-sac home, and it turned out to be a perfect fit for them. That's why working with someone who knows these neighborhoods inside and out really matters, especially when you're buying from out of state or from a distance. Now, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of this kitchen so far? I think this house, again, being for 2014, it's been beautifully maintained and has some really cool upgrades. As we're moving through the kitchen here, let me give you a quick overview of the layout because there's a lot to look forward to as we tour the rest of the home. This home features what's called the Upper East Side floor plan, and it's a layout that really checks a lot of boxes for today's buyers. You've got a large den on the main level that could easily work as a fifth bedroom, plus there's a 3/4 bath right nearby. I'll get to in a bit what 3/4 bath means later. So it's great for guests, multi-generational living, or tucked away as a home office. Now, the great room and kitchen are wide open, super functional, and this kitchen is loaded with some standout features like Viking appliances, a dry bar, walk-in pantry, multiple refrigerators, and I'll walk you through all of this in more details as we're going. Upstairs, there are 4 more large bedrooms, corner bonus room, and a grand primary suite with vaulted ceilings, sunset views, and a spa-inspired 5-piece bath with tons of storage. And just wait until we step outside, which is going to be real soon. You've got a massive Azek deck, a hot tub, and even a putting green back there. It's a pretty amazing setup for entertaining and relaxation. We'll go through all of it step by step, but let's keep moving through the kitchen here and take a closer look at some of the details. Now, one thing I was pointing out with this dishwasher is there's a lot of dishwashers that I end up grabbing, especially newer ones that seem very flimsy on the handle. Like the whole door system will be warping back and forth if I twist it or torque it. This dishwasher door is one of the more solid, newer dishwasher doors that I have opened and closed or operated in a newer construction home, or anything that's been built, I would say in the last 15 years, felt super solid as a dishwasher door. I know that might not be a feature that most people are looking for, but I mean, sometimes, you know, if you're spending well over $1,000 or multiple thousand for a really high-end dishwasher, you want to make sure that the door doesn't feel too flimsy. Take a look at this breakfast nook area as well, how you have so many windows and sliding doors that let in so much light. I love how the windows nearly go all the way to the top of the ceiling, and the windows and doors connect all the way to the bottom here. Let's take a look at the outside here. This is that deck that I was referring to. It's like a composite decking, so it's a different brand other than Trex deck, but it would give very low maintenance. Another thing that I was pointing out here is just how smooth the slider is. A lot of times in houses, you know, newer construction, things built in the last 10 years or whatnot, some of the sliding doors are not holding up well, and they're really creaky or not moving properly. All of these sliders felt very smooth. Some of them felt like they weighed a little, but there was no resistance to them, and they slide really nicely and close easily, which is another indication that this house is holding up rather nicely. I love the twinkle lights above here. Check out this huge spa hot tub right there in the corner of the deck. This is such an expansive deck, and then super easy to maintain this lot because over there you've got that putting green that takes over the entire green space of the backyard. Now, we're not going to take an actual look at this hot tub. However, the listing photo does have a really cool twilight shot of both the hot tub being on with the lights as well as the twinkle lights. I'd say it's a really cool view to feature. I'm not showing it off since I don't have the licensure to this listing to just show off the photos. However, if you'd like to take a look at the listing itself, please feel free to look in the description. Click the link, the listing link, and you'll be directed right to the listing where you could take a look at all of the photos. Believe me, you won't regret it. But make sure to do that after you watch this full video, of course, because I want you to see every detail. Now, what do you think, my dear viewer, on what you feel about how this backyard space feels? I do like this privacy back directly to the back of you. And your houses aren't right up next to you, your neighbors here. You do have a little bit of space. Now, of course, anyone that's looking for actual land isn't going to think so, but when you're looking to move into a newer master plan community, there's even much less space in between the homes. So I do appreciate the spaciousness that this home and lot does provide. Now, this is one of those resale homes that just feels, you know, done. And that actually reminds me of a couple that I was working with who couldn't decide between brand new construction home or something just like this. So they had a healthy budget and they were looking at both resale homes on the east side and new construction further out in South King County. On paper, the new build looked great, clean, fresh, warranty backed. But when we toured this one resale with a finished backyard, upgraded kitchen, a mature landscaping, it just felt more like a home. And the kicker, it was over $150,000 less than the new build they were originally leaning towards, and it was in an arguably much better location. So sometimes it's not about what's newest, it's about what's best for your lifestyle. If you're trying to decide between resale and new construction and want to talk through the trade-offs, just shoot me a message. I've helped clients navigate both all the time. Now, one thing that makes me want to actually come back at night is to see how these lights work that are all along the edge of this putting green. I think it would be super cool. I mean, the photos show a super pretty backyard, but I would love to see this backyard in person during the nighttime or twilight shots. I mean, look at the deck with the lights that would show not just the twinkle lights above, but I believe those lights are on a timer and when it is dark enough out, you've got lights on your deck that light up, as well as on the stairs that go down. So I'm pointing out one of the lights right there. Those are all along the perimeter of the deck, and then you had those lights that are attached to the stairs, the 2 steps going down to the putting green. By the way, this home has a ton of different siding that's on the exterior. You've got cement, concrete, stone, and wood product all throughout, but I like the blend of it and how it's used. I like how the stone is used sparingly in key locations, and it really does, the combination of the 3 really make this property stand out. Now let's take a look at this top deck here in the front. I really like the look of this overhang right here with the lights. I'm a sucker for the wood look with the lights overhang. And this, you get some really nice views right here, some sweeping views surrounding your neighborhood. Let's take a look at right here. Again, look at just how wide the street is here. You also notice not that many cars are passing by. It's a pretty quiet street. Right there is a perfect shot where you see the blend of that cement, wood, and stone all blending together nicely there on the exterior of the home. You got a few people walking out there. This is also a nice expansive driveway. It's a 3-car garage when we go take a look at it. The floor's been epoxied, which looks really nice and has a ton of storage. So if you're a car buff, or you definitely have multiple vehicles to park, you want to park them in your nice garage, and you've got some either exterior parking as well. Again, really nice place to store your vehicles, and you've got some really nice tool areas and just tons of storage in the garage, which we'll go take a look at in a bit. Now, as you can tell in this great room here, this space really pops on camera. It reminds me of a home one of my clients found online that looked incredible in the photos. They were relocating from California and totally were sold on the home just from the photos and the listing description. It checked all their boxes, updated finishes, a big backyard, nice kitchen, but when I toured it for them, I noticed a faint musty smell downstairs. So I checked downstairs, I was looking for it, and in the corner, sure enough, I found water intrusion. It wasn't disclosed, and they had no idea from the photos alone. I tell this story to say that what you don't see online matters just as much as what you do see. And it's exactly why I film these tours the way I do for the clients who can't be there in person, but still need to know what's really going on. So if you're house hunting from out of town and need someone who's going to be your eyes, ears, and yes, even your nose, I'd be honored to help you. Which again reminds me of another fantastic point. If you're a home buyer out there right now, don't skip your home inspection, whether it's on a newer home or even a brand new construction home. It's always a good idea to do your own home inspection. I know a lot of builders or new builds, they do a really good job at what they're doing, but there's just as many out there where some builders are cutting corners and you don't know what you're not looking for. And there's been times where we've done a home inspection for our buyer where they paid for an outside home inspection, where the builder was even encouraging the buyer not to do one. And it turns out that the whole attic, the builder just forgot to put the insulation in. And it wasn't one of those where the builder just didn't put it in yet. They just were simply not gonna put it in because they forgot about it at the stage. It was basically, it was ready to be blue taped and everything, and it just wasn't in there. It was just an easy oversight. Same with one time we found it where there was a pipe that was completely disconnected in the crawl space, and had that not gotten noticed prior to closing, as soon as the buyer were to turn the water on in the house, or even the builder, I guess, it'd start just dumping water into the crawl space. So there's things that you want your outside home inspector to find for you that maybe the builder is going to even miss for you, that you're not going to catch in a blue tape walkthrough. Okay, now get a look at this butler's pantry. Check out how cool these refrigerated shelves are when you pull them out, and having just this extra space here where you could meal prep or whatnot, heading into the formal dining room area. I think this is just super cool. I also like the light that comes in from this window here. So this area, sometimes when you walk through butler's pantries, they're not well lit, so it's nice having this off of the kitchen here and having a nice enough light coming from here. And of course, adjacent to it is the walk-in pantry. Now you'll notice as soon as I walk in, maybe I wasn't able to get it on film, but it does have a motion sensor, so as soon as you walk into it, it turns on. Interesting thing enough, I think this is actually a good solution for most of these butler pantries. There was a home that I showed off in Cougar Mountain in Issaquah a couple of weeks ago on the channel that had a really cool design where opening the door was what triggered the light to turn on in that pantry. In the moment you close the door, it shuts off. So there's no like delay from a motion sensor. I guess there's trade-offs to that too, because that means you can't be in your walk-in pantry with the door shut with the light on. So there were some limitations to it, but it's just I guess a different cool feature to think about other than just these motion sensors. But I definitely like all of these builders putting the work in to think about the homeowner and what would make their life more convenient living in these properties. Again, look at how stunning the design is of, you're gonna have to pause or rewind or go back because in that formal dining room, I just love how the windows go to the floor there. I love the look of that. There's been a few properties I've toured, even one in Kirkland that I've shown on the channel, and every time that they do these floor to ceiling windows, it's super impressive. It feels completely different when you're able to stand at the bottom of the window and you're looking over the edge of your house. Super just a cool different look to it. Now this is that bonus room that could be used as a home office. As we're taking a look here, there's that small closet right there. This is obviously staged as a bedroom. You've got these two French doors here for to be able to shut them, and then again here is the walk-in right here. Of course, again, you could use this as multi-generational living. If someone needed to live on this floor right here as opposed to going all the way upstairs, that could be a good use of space. But I think whoever is going to be buying this home is most likely going to be using this as a killer home office. You'll also notice that the homeowner or builder, not sure which one, but put in a strip at the bottom of the door here to help with noise dampening or noise cancellation to make it an even better home office, which I'm sure that helps out a lot. Now, I want to hear from you guys in the comments. What do you think of this entryway here, how it goes up on this story here? I don't see it too often like this, and I really like this layout, how different it is compared to what I am traditionally seeing in newer construction homes right now. I think it's cool to have a unique layout like this. Notice all the pretty finishes, and you've got another bathroom with a window in it, which is good. Anytime you don't have a window in a bathroom, it's kind of harder to make the bathroom to not feel like a dungeon. So really nice that this bathroom also has a window in it as well. So I guess you would consider this, if you will, the powder room technically, just because it is on the main level here. However, it is a 0.75 bath. This does have the toilet, the sink, and this walk-in shower here, which definitely makes it a 0.75 bath. Now, in order for it to be considered a full bath, it would not only have to have the shower, but it would have to have some sort of tub, whether it's a shower tub combination or even just a separate bathtub all on its own. I always get someone commenting, whether it's on TikTok or on YouTube, whenever I'm posting one of these walkthroughs and I mentioned, 0.75 bath or a half bath. People are wondering how we are dividing up bathrooms. A lot of people, I get comments where like, what's a 0.75 bath? I've never heard of that. So essentially that's what the 0.75 bath is. Half bath's easy. Usually a half bath you're seeing is like a traditional powder room where it's just a toilet and a sink, but there's no shower or tub combination. Now, interesting enough, I mentioned this in a few of my other videos, so I do apologize if you, my viewer, that keeps returning to these are getting sick of me mentioning this one, but I did tour a home one time. I believe it was either in Seattle or Tacoma. I can't remember which city it was in, but it was an older home, and that's why I'm thinking either Seattle or Tacoma, because I tour a lot more older homes in those areas. And this house had a very interesting half bath, probably one of the most interesting half baths I've ever come across. It was a toilet and a shower, so there's no sink, so I guess you'd wash your hands after going to the bathroom by using that shower. Interesting half bath situation. I've seen some other pretty interesting designs while touring some older homes. You know, you've got the plenty of homes that have all of the carpet throughout the bathroom itself, including around the toilet and the shower, and, you know, so many other stuff. You've got those bathrooms from the 70s that have all of the pink tile work, and I saw one that had, it was pretty interesting. It actually had a little, what I could describe as a staircase, I guess, going from the bathtub to the top of the sink or the vanity, and it looked like it was for like a cat or something. So pretty interesting stuff I've seen. I actually used to, back in the day, post what I called interesting design of the day on my Instagram, and then I ended up making a video where I kind of just did like the greatest hits of those, so feel free to go check that out. I believe I also did a YouTube short of that as well. Just look it up on my channel. I'm sure you can find it, and if you can't, please comment below and I'll send you the direct link, because I have seen some funky stuff. Now, I love the vaulted ceilings in this front room and the corner windows here. Anytime that these builders are putting in corner windows, I think it really just gives off a cool vibe. You got these wraparound views here. I mean, just gorgeous wraparound views of everything. So from this front window here, we can actually see, as I zoom in here, there's Seattle over there, and then you've got Bellevue right over there. So and of course the naked eye can pick up on a lot of this stuff more easily. If you were standing where I'm standing right now in person versus on camera, you can actually easily see both Seattle and Bellevue. You don't have to zoom in or use binoculars. However, obviously on camera, I do have to zoom in for you to pick up on the detail, of course. Now, like I mentioned before, this home is totally move-in ready, which reminds me, if you're a current homeowner and you're worried about selling your home first before buying another home, there's actually a program that I know of that lets you do the opposite. You can buy your next home first, move in, skip the double move, and avoid making a contingent offer, which is honestly makes you a way more competitive buyer. And you don't have to carry 2 mortgages or stress about timing. And the best part, if your current home doesn't sell in 6 months, they'll even make a guaranteed offer so you're not stuck. Some of my clients have also used this program to pay off debt or make updates to their home before selling it or putting it on the market, which has helped them qualify for better loans or sell for more later. Also, a unique thing about this program, since there's a guarantee cash offer from this company, the lender that you're working with will treat it as if you don't have the other home to begin with, and it won't be count against your debt to income ratio. So if you own a home now and you want to know if you qualify for a program like this, shoot me a message and I'll send you the details. It's honestly a game changer for a lot of move-up buyers. And if you've already heard about programs like these, like bridge loans, this is a little bit different of an animal and more enhanced than just a standard bridge loan. So it's definitely worth looking into this particular program. Again, get a load at the vaulted ceilings and corner windows here. I also like the architecture, how the windows are slanted through the vaulted ceilings and you get plenty of light bleeding through here. I will also say the carpet on these upper levels feels nice and plush. The carpet is definitely well maintained and does not feel worn. There are plenty of new construction properties that I've gone through that have the carpet on the upstairs level, and especially on the stairs. When you're walking up the stairs, some of them feel like they have no padding at all, so it almost feels harder than as if you were just walking up a hardwood stair. So really appreciate the padding on this carpet. If you're gonna go with a house that has carpet, you want a house that has carpet like this, of course. Love the windows up top there as well. What do you guys think of the chandelier or pendant lighting that is hanging from that front great entryway? Also love feeling this tile down here. Countertops felt nice too. Take a look at the backsplash. The backsplash is cohesive to the backsplash that is in the kitchen, I believe. One thing I want to point out in here is, even though this bathroom does not have a window, because it would have been very difficult to put one in this configuration, notice how it has plenty of lighting. So when you're in a bathroom, especially one that doesn't have a window in it, it's really nice to have that overhead lighting above the shower as well. There was a house that I even showed on the channel that was a flip, or like a full-on remodel, restored house in Somerset and Bellevue. That house was almost perfect, and I'd say my one little critique on it was just putting some sort of overhead lighting above the shower to make it not feel as dungeony. It'd be such a simple, small fix for the new homeowner to do, and I bet the new homeowner ended up doing it. Take a look at the laundry room right here. Just giving you a peek of kind of what the outside looks like. It's well lit in here, of course. You've got the smart panel here. That's where all of the wires are connecting for all of the internet throughout the house, and coaxials, etc. And then again, we're walking by that linen closet that I opened up when we first walked in here. Again, this feels like a really nice grand staircase. I like the design of it, but I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. Do you like the layout of this house so far? I feel like it's a pretty interesting way to cut up what would other be known as just kind of a square design of a house, and truly make the architecture look special and the layout pretty unique. Showing you how easy it is to open the window here. Now, I try not to do it too much anymore in my walkthroughs on YouTube, but if I was doing a walkthrough for a private client that's, I'm making them even more detailed than this, I make sure the sound's on so they can actually hear everything that I'm hearing as well, so they're not missing if there's any sort of outside noise, or what the ambient noise sounds like around the home. Zooming in there just so you could get a good look at what my eyes are actually visually seeing this. So in the house, because obviously, I'm not a videographer, so I don't need to explain how exposure works on a camera or anything like that, but my eyes were able to see the really cool detail from the windows there, but I wanted to zoom in to show you what that looked like, or what my eyes were seeing. So super cool wraparound views of the surrounding Greater Seattle area from these windows. And of course, this is the primary. Look how spacious it looks. That is a king size bed, plenty of space. I like the staging that this house has in it. Again, corner windows here going pretty much all the way up to the ceiling. You've also got these cool windows that are slanted or pitched with the roof here. Looks super cool. Love the primary bedroom here so far. This is the best view of Seattle and Bellevue. Notice that we got it from that corner window on the other front bedroom here, but I would say, in my opinion, this being the closest corner from your bedroom here, you've got really nice views of Seattle and Bellevue out there. And of course, again, not to beat it with a dead horse, but I can see this perfectly from my own eyes. I don't have to zoom in here like I'm having to do on camera for you guys. That's kind of was more realistically like the view that I saw when I was at that first zoom out for you. Gorgeous views. And it was a good day out. The greater Seattle area does have a lot of rain. We're actually not one of the most rainiest places. There are cities that outrain us yearly or annually throughout the United States, but we are well known for the rain around here, and it was nice to have a spring warm day to shoot this instead of a very dreary day out. Now, of course, this home has a ton of really nice details. You could tell that it has a lot of upgraded features to this home and a lot of nice finishing work, which it should. And again, this is something that you would expect with a newer home or even brand new construction. This does remind me of a new construction home buyer that I've helped who thought the model home was the exact house that they were gonna get. They had walked into a model home and were ready to sign the offer on the spot, but what they didn't realize was that the model was loaded with over $70,000 in upgrades, and none of those were included in the base price. They called me just in time, and I negotiated not only the right upgrades, but also builder incentives and better financing. We ended up getting more home for less money. So if you're considering new construction, don't walk in alone. Having someone like me in your corner can literally save you thousands and make sure you're actually getting what you think you are paying for. Now, I want to know what your thoughts are on this walk-in closet. I really like these bins or the drawers that pull out at a diagonal. I think those are really cool bins. What would you put in them? They look like they could be like shoe bins or different, like a hamper for laundry or whatnot. I would like to know how you would configure this walk-in closet to work best for you and your lifestyle. Feeling the tile work here in the primary suite. Nice big tiles here. And then you've got the tile work all on the bottom half of this wall here. This also has a really nice view of that the towel bar there, where you can see again a really nice view of Seattle and Bellevue from it. You've got two vanities there, or two sinks in the vanity. Nice big mirrors. Notice how it's set up where the mirror looks like a picture. It's got a really nice thick picture frame to it with built-in outlets into it as well. I really like these countertops. I like how the more simplistic design of how the vein work in the quartz countertops is more subtle in these counters up here. You let me know though, what's your favorite style of quartz? Again, you know, I feel like quartz is the better way to go because you don't have to seal it like you would with granite. Now, as I continue to show you this primary ensuite here, I do like to, in all of my videos, give you a brief real estate market update for the area that the property that I'm touring the home is in. So that being said, let's talk about what's happening here in Issaquah's 98029 zip code, which includes the Highlands, the Plateau, and other parts of Issaquah. So as of April 2025, the residential market is showing some interesting shifts. Now, new listings are up 25% compared to last April, and total inventory jumped by 60%, which is giving buyers a little bit more breathing room. Pending sales are up 32%, so those are homes that are under contract with another buyer or between a buyer and seller right now. That tells us demand is still strong, especially for well-prepped homes. The median sales price dropped about 9.3% year over year, currently sitting at 1.655 million, but homes are still selling for just over 101% of list price, which means competition hasn't gone away entirely. One stat that stands out: homes here are still selling fast, with an average of just 8 days on market, same as last year. So yes, inventory is rising, but buyers are still jumping on well-priced homes quickly. Now, if you're shopping condos here in the Issaquah area, zip code 98029, the market looks a little softer. Median condo prices are down 24% from last year, and days on market have nearly doubled, averaging 41 days before sale. So what does this all mean? If you're a buyer, especially in the luxury segment on the east side, you've got more inventory and a bit more leverage, but the best homes are still moving fast. So this is true for most of the east side market, but what we're only looking at here are obviously stats for zip code 98029. So it's always a good idea to dive into each individual market, because each city on the east side has its own micro market. Now, if you're a seller, pricing your home correctly and making it shine from day one is still crucial. You've got more competition now than you did last year, but homes that are move-in ready and marketed well are still performing. And if you want a custom breakdown for your own property, or you want to know what your home's worth right now, just reach out or click the home value link in the description. It's actually the first link I put in all my videos. I'd be happy to run the numbers for you. Now, get a look at this mudroom down here. One cool feature is that it's also on a motion sensor, which is really nice when you're coming in from the garage, because I did notice, since there's no windows down here, it is 100% dark if the lights are not on, like pitch black. So it's good that the lights turn on from that motion sensor. Get a look at the understairs closet storage here. I always joke in all my videos, if you celebrate Christmas and you are a family that, or a person that likes to store your fake Christmas tree under the stairs closet, that's the perfect place to put it. That's where the Christmas tree would go. I even toured a home the other day where that's where it was was in the understorage closet here. Get a look at the furnace system and the hot water tank in here as well. We're about to go into the garage and do my famous garage door test, where we test out how loud the garage door is. I am also really excited to show you just how much storage this garage door, the garage has in here. Get a look at all of the storage in here. It's kind of unreal how much storage that you have in this garage. Really nice having all of the cabinetry in the back there. As you can see, it's epoxied. You could totally put, a workout gym in here, or, of course, park your vehicles in here. Look at the up above storage as well. Nice to have plenty of storage up there. I mean, this is just a nice oversized garage. And speaking of garages, I've recently been working with a home buyer that found me right off YouTube, relocating out of state over here from Texas, and he's looking for a really big property. One of the biggest things that he was looking for was he wanted a property that had an ADU or cottage for his live-in chef, and he was looking for a 6-car garage system. So it didn't matter if there was just one large garage that had 6 car bays, or some sort of configuration. I found him the perfect property that the primary residence had a oversized 4-car garage, and then the cottage, the ADU that the chef will live in, has a 2-car garage in it. So I looked everywhere all over the east side, and this was the perfect setup for him. There was literally no other properties available currently, and he is ecstatic. Now let's take a listen to the garage doors. Okay, that was not that bad at all. I have heard and even shown on the channel new construction homes that had way worse, way larger sounds coming from the garage door and a lot of squeaks. So a 2014 property here with the garage doors being perfectly average sound for a garage door, not that bad at all. Let me know in the comments below though if you appreciate the garage door tests. I've had people reach out to me and specifically say, you know, they've given me comments on either liking it, or they've even commented thinking that it was actually not the quietest on one of my other videos. So I was able to actually send them one that I believed was the quietest garage door that I've filmed on the channel so far. Now, as we check out the outside area of this home, I did want to have a brief message to all of my homeowners out there that might be contemplating selling their home, but they don't know if listing is the best way to go, or if they're just trying to maybe sell their home off market to maybe an investor that's going to give them a cash offer up front. For one thing or another, they don't want to deal with the traditional way of selling where a bunch of people are going through their home. They don't want to uproot themselves or vacate the property, and they can't vacate if they don't have the cash up front. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I know a lot of wholesalers and investors, they're making cash offers to people looking to buy their home off market, even all over the east side, these older homes here, and they're doing flips with them. Most of the time the investors are offering something that's around maybe max would be 60% of the market value. So knowing that the homeowner could get 40% more if maybe they did a little bit of work and listed it. Totally get it though. Some homeowners don't want to do that or don't want to even bother with that. But you don't have to sell your home to a flipper for pennies on the dollar. I know a program where if you're sitting on a property that needs some work or just doesn't show well, you can still get 60 to 70% of the value upfront as cash. But instead of walking away from the deal, you actually partner with a team that handles all of the renovation work for you. Then we list and sell it together at top market value, and you'll collect the rest of your profit when it closes. I've seen clients walk away with significantly more than they would have by taking a lowball investor offer, and they don't have to be swinging a hammer or fund the remodel out of pocket. This company takes care of it for you. So if you're in a situation where you're thinking about selling as is to a flipper, don't do it before talking to me first. There's a better option out there, and I can help you figure out if this one's a good fit for you. And let's end the home tour on taking one more good look at the neighborhood here. I believe that was the only car that drove by the entire time while filming this beautiful home tour. And there you have it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this beautiful luxury home right here in Issaquah Highlands. Again, my name's Morrow. I'm a local realtor here in the greater Seattle area. I've been working with buyers, sellers, and investors in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties for over a decade now. If you are looking to make your move over here to the greater Seattle area or east side area in the next 9 days or 9 months, or you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact info can be found below in the description. If you're looking for more property tours or you'd like to hear about what others have said about working with me, look somewhere on the screen here. And of course, until next time, I hope to be showing you around town, showing you some more property tours, and please subscribe to me for more real estate shenanigans. Have a great day.